Hey guys, listen up. I'm back, and today I want to ask a simple question. Who are you? It is a very simple question, but a lot of times it's very difficult to answer for some of us. But I want you to really sit down and think about who you are. Today, I want to help you with just a few steps to get there because in me discovering who I am, and I am still discovering who I am, the first rule of thumb is you will always be discovering who you are to the day you die. So don't think you have to have it all figured out today. The next thing I want to remind you is that when you're trying to figure out who you are, you have to actually write down some of your characteristics, some of your traits that make up you. The third thing you have to do is you have to actually understand, okay, your intent. Why do you do what you do? Why do you possess that certain characteristic? And then lastly, what behaviors are you doing to support it? It's really not that difficult, but I want you to understand that in order to overcome anything in your life, in order to face your truth, you got to understand who you are. And then the very foundation of that is opening up that Word of God to see what the Word of God has to say about you. One of my favorite scriptures is Luke 10:19, when he says, I've given you authority to trample over scorpions and serpents, and I've given you power over the enemy, and there is nothing that can harm you. In discovering who we are, a lot of times we don't want to tell our truth because we think we're going to be harmed. But know that you have power over that. Sometimes we make bad choices and we make mistakes, knowing that we may not ever recover, or we may lose people or lose relationships or lose things. But that Word of God says you got power over that. A lot of times we want to do our best, but our circumstances and situations, we feel like we have no choice to do the right thing. But listen up, you have power over that. And once I discovered that I had power, it was now time for me to exercise that power by doing the characteristics list. What are some things that I love about myself and why I did it? Now, one of the things I discovered was I was a giver. Yeah, I was a giver. I love to give to people. But when I talked about the why I love to give, it was coming from a broken place. And so thus, my behavior was that I was giving to people when I really didn't want to. And that was taking my power. So I want to encourage somebody on today to discover who you are. Write that list. Find out your intent on why you hold that character trait. And then look at the behavior that you have when it comes to actually fulfilling it. You know what, guys? I want to give you just a little bit of my testimony before I go. Now, I recently shot a video, probably about a couple of weeks ago, about me stealing, okay? That was a characteristic of me. I used to be a thief. And many people reached out to me, okay, about it. And a lot of people who reached out to me were reaching out to me in shock because they could not believe that this woman of integrity, right? This woman who does right by people, who knows how to speak with people, who is just doing it right no matter what the circumstances is. How can you now have integrity? I personally was shocked, but I never thought that that story would have such an impact. So you know what I found out a little bit of my power is that every part of my story can help someone. Me personally, I was really concerned on people seeing me as a thief. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm like, God, they gonna see me as a thief, and I'm not gonna be able to shoot these videos no more. But God says, I need you to trust me. And when I tell you that video blew up my inbox about people stealing in their lives, I even got a couple of people who were actually stealing themselves who had reached out to me. Let me tell you something. You have power. And while you think something may be small, while you think something may look at you wrong, somebody may look at you wrong, or somebody may do something to you, I need you to understand that even in that, you have power to trample over serpents and scorpions. I took a little bit of my power back when I shot that video. And I want you guys to understand that after I shot that video, I cried. Now, I didn't cry because I was still hung up on that area of my life, but I cried because I had to let you in just a little bit more. As I be obedient to God and as I trust God, I want you to understand that you can trust Him too. You're not alone, and He hears you. I hope I was able to help somebody just with a little bit of my testimony and discovering who you are. Until next time, guys, I love you.